Claudia, the floor is yours, my dear, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Lene, for your very, very kind words as usual. Um, all right, guys, good morning. Pleasure to be here with you. This morning, I'm going to share with you a couple of tips and reflections regarding Saber-Pro, particularly um, the English component or prueba Inglés. Uh, However, the particular features of this component are also useful for us to think about other types of standardized tests. So even though we're going to focus on this particular standardized test, okay, because it can be considered a standardized test, we um, we can also use these tips and these strategies when we are preparing for other types. Okay, so we're going to begin talking for a little while about what do you know about this test? What do you already know or imagine, or what kind of things have you considered about the English test of the Saber Pro? So anyone, you can turn on your microphone and tell us what do you know or what do you think about? Anyone, not everybody at the same time, please.
Teacher, maybe what do I know? I don't know exactly like the structure of the test, but I would imagine that it wouldn't be really difficult for us. Maybe it could be related to the other standardized test that we have taken, but it is just like a supposition, like a belief, but I don't know anything about the structure of this specific test. So I would like to know the structure and maybe some of the questions that we could find to be prepared.
All right. Thank you, Carolina, for that. Okay, so you are getting into a very key feature. This is a test that will be not as challenging for you as perhaps other standardized tests. Why do you think that is? Why do you think this test will be not extremely challenging for you? Not only Carolina, anyone else?
Because that is our specific reason and knowledge, or yes, that is our stronger field. So I think that is for that reason, and because we have, as I said, it is we have already taken other standardized tests.
Exactly. And okay, so let me again ask all of you a question. Who needs to take this test or this part of the test? Only students from foreign language licenciaturas? Sarah?
Teacher, isn't this for everybody?
It
For
is.
for all the students taking Saber-Pro?
Mm-hmm.
Not just for us. Okay. I mean, us as in English, as in language teachers.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
it's not only for you. This is a test that is for everybody, for absolutely everybody. Given that, okay, or because of this, the test is not particularly addressed at testing a C1 level, okay? A C1 level is what you as an English teacher are supposed to achieve, okay, at the end of the program. However, for the rest of the programs, the standard is a little bit lower. Linguistic policies tell us that a professional should graduate with a B2 level. However, the Ministry of Education and ICFES is aware that not everybody is reaching that goal. Okay, so they are still flexibilizing the test enough because to give it like more of a B1 feeling. That is, according to linguistic policy, what high school students should be graduated in. Okay. However, this test, as I told you, it's designed mostly in a B1, B1 plus, maybe a little bit of a lower B2 level. So it's not particularly challenging for you guys. Now, let's talk about the structure. There are basically two types of questions. There are multiple choice, which are one statement or one question with 3 potential answers, and multiple matching. That means several questions with several answers to match. And the focus of the questions can be 2. There is one focus, normally the first part of the test, the focus is on structure and vocabulary. Not only literal understanding of a structure and vocabulary, so there are also questions that are addressed at pragmatic and sociolinguistic competence. And the second focus is on reading comprehension. Okay, so the types of questions are those 2, and the focus is those 2. There are not going to be like exactly divided sections, like, okay, this part of the test is a structure and vocabulary. No, but you will notice, and there will be a transition point. We will take a look at this later, from the structure and vocabulary to reading comprehension section. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that with the examples. Okay, guys, whenever you have questions or comments, you feel free to interrupt me. Now let's practice with some examples. We're going to begin with identifying the type of question and the focus. Okay, is it multiple choice or multiple matching? And is it focused mainly on structure and vocabulary or reading comprehension? Okay, so let's take a look at the first example. All right, so let's read the questions, and let's try to determine the structure, or sorry, type of question and focus.
It is matching.
All right, multiple matching, why?
Because in one column we have the statements or the items, and in the other column we have the options. We have to relate one column with the other.
Very good. And Jose Fernando in the chat is giving us also the focus. The focus is on vocabulary. All right, very good. Now, when we have statements like this, and this happened, for example, on Thursday, when I was giving this same lecture to the students who went on Thursday, one of the students said, people often cry when they feel like this. Okay? Most of us cry, or some of us cry when we are sad. However, he also said, but I also cry when I am angry. Now, how do we decide in that case which will be the most appropriate answer? Okay? If we're going to answer this this first question here, okay, I got, let me move this first question, okay, and we have this option and this option, okay. Now, how do we decide which the best answer will be?
Teacher,
Eh,
I would choose, I would discard the other options. I will go to the other options and see if, for example, angry corresponds to another item and no more. If maybe we have more options. So if I don't find the other option in the other items, I would follow as the classmates say, common sense.
Common sense. Okay, so good. Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, Andres, for that. Because in this case, what we need to follow is common sense. Well, how do we define common sense? By what is more socially accepted. Okay, so in this case, okay, the answer will be people often cry when they feel this. Well, it will be sad, right? All right. Now let's try to answer the rest of the, sorry, the rest of the questions. All right. So sad will be with the first one. Okay, so let me just put it here. This will be the first one. Okay, if we feel this, we want to eat something.
Hungry.
All right, very good. So it will be hungry. When we hate something, we sometimes feel like this.
Angry.
Very good. All right. Some people usually feel like this when it's hot and need to drink something.
Thirsty.
Thursday.
Thirsty. Very good. And finally, a person feels like this when they need to sleep after a long day.
Tired.
Tired. Very good. Or another good example for this will be when they are teachers, right? All right. Very good. Okay, guys. So moving on. Some tips for this. Guys, let me give you a little anecdote here. When I was in 11th grade, long time ago, English in the ICFES, or what is now Saber-11, didn't have a mandatory English test. Okay, we didn't. English was an elective test. And so I chose it. Okay, I said, well, I'm good at English, so maybe I can do good in this test. Okay, and turns out that I will never forget the very first question. It had a picture of a fruit, and then it had 4 options. It said, what is this? An apple, an orange, a banana, or a grape. And the fruit was an apple. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, is this the first, like an apple? And they put like the most common fruit, the one that everybody teaches? Seriously? Well, turns out that there were like some 30, 40 questions. And I finished all of the questions in a matter of minutes. And so when I finished and I looked at the time and I noticed that I still had like almost an hour to finish the test, I was like, no, this is impossible. This is impossible that I finish all of this test and that I have it correct. I need to go over it. And I went again over all of the questions and I say, no, I'm absolutely sure. However, I left the examining room feeling a little bit uncomfortable because I said, what if some of the questions were tricky questions and I fell on the trick? I don't know. Okay. The thing is that I left, but I was feeling very, very insecure until I received my results. And I noticed that I absolutely aced a test. Okay. So from there, I learned that, yes, there are questions that particularly for you, because of what we already discussed, because of the level of questions that this particular test has, you're going to find questions that are so obvious, so easy for you, right? Because there are questions that are going to be slightly lower, like a lower B1 or even a higher A2. However, and I do need to warn you, confidence is good, okay? So let's try to not hesitate or doubt yourself too much, because yes, some of the questions are quite obvious. There are other questions that are going to be a little bit more, in which you will need to pay a little bit more of attention. Not because they will be particularly difficult for you, but because they are going to be, they're going to need a little bit more of attention for you to answer them correctly. Again, in anything down, like what we just said, first discard the one that you know and try to remain with two options and analyze two options to choose from, okay? Because it's easier to discard one than to discard two or three or four, okay? So when we have questions in which we have some doubts, try to analyze only two. Time, well, it is part of the module. I'm not exactly sure how much time you will have like allocated for this particular test, because as I told you, it's part of the full test. So they give you like all of the questions of the modules that you will do, and you will have like a very a longer amount of time. I don't think that there are more than 40 questions. I think that's I think the amount of questions are like 30, if I'm not mistaken. So it shouldn't take you like too much time. However, do leave time for answering this, so you don't have to do it like a la Topa Tolondra o a la Santa María me puntería. All right. Okay. Let's practice with another. Okay. Let's first identify type of question and focus. Will this be multiple matching or multiple choice? And the focus will be structure and vocabulary or reading comprehension. Anyone? Okay, someone here in the chat. Okay, that is multiple choice, yes, but it is not reading comprehension. It is true, we need to read and we need to understand. However, because of the length of the or the amount of information that is given, that doesn't make it reading comprehension. Reading comprehension normally gives us a full text, okay? So the structure here is partially on a structure, but these questions are also addressing the pragmatical component of language. Why? Think about this. Yeah, you ask a person, do you prefer cats or dogs? And the person answers like, all right. It doesn't match, right? Okay, it's not like very, very clear. Okay. So why is it interfering with? It is interfering with the pragmatics of the language, okay? Because it's not, the other person does not fully understand your question, so it's answering something completely unrelated, okay? So it has to do, yes, with the structure, but also with pragmatics, Okay, so let's take a look at, let's answer these questions. Okay, so let's begin with the number 6. Do you prefer cats or dogs? Which will be the answer to that?
Both are nice.
Okay, both are nice. Okay, a very polite answer. Okay, because there are people who like both. Okay, number 7. I forgot to turn the lights off. Which will be your answer?
Are you sure?
Okay. Any other possibility from that? Think about this. Somebody says, I forgot to turn the lights off. And the other person replies, how about this? Will that be a possibility? What do you think? No, why
It doesn't
not?
sound, yeah, like the way you put it doesn't sound like a question, right? Like it's more like an
Exactly. So it will be an interjection expressing irony. So it wouldn't have a question mark. In this type of cases, we need to think about the types of answers that we could have, but how those answers will be represented. If I say, how about this? Okay, it will have an exclamation mark, not a question mark. Okay, so again, as Cesar points out, in this case, the most suitable answer is B. Like, are you sure? All right. I'm afraid my sister is sick. Which will be the most suitable answer there? Like, oh my God, your sister is sick, so can I go now? Will that be an option? What do you think, guys?
Good answer.
Sorry?
I would say the only option here is I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Right? Okay, somebody might say, can I go now because your sister is sick, so we don't want to be in the house, okay? However, for this, what will we need? For a person to answer, can I go now? I don't like sick people.
Maybe my sister is in my house, is sick in my house or something, indicating the place.
Exactly. So we will need more information to get to that conclusion. The most straightforward answer will be, I'm sorry. All right. Okay, what about question 9? Let's go to park next weekend. Which will be the most straightforward answer there?
Teacher, would it be C, right idea?
Great idea. All right. So we say, yeah, let's go to the park. Okay, let's try to relax for a little bit. Let's go to the botanical garden next weekend to Fiesta Libre y la Cultura, or this weekend or next week. However, let's say, why couldn't it be as soon as possible? Let's go to the park next week. Please, just as soon as possible.
Maybe because when you say as soon as possible, it's more like it's something urgent, something that needs to be done right away, but the example is an invitation, so there will be a conflict of, okay.
Very
Teacher, and the statement is not asking when are we going to go to the park or something like that. That
exactly. It's not a question. It's just an invitation. Okay, it's not something that, let's say, states that this is an urgent matter. All right. What about question 10? Can I talk to you for a minute? Maybe if I'm like in a hurry, you say, "Ay, but just 1 minute."
Of course.
Okay. We will answer, of course, and especially because we are teachers, and most especially because we are Amigoniano teachers. So we are always available to lend an ear. All right, good. What about if somebody selected answer C and says, I know, but I can say that I am in a hurry so that it can only be 1 minute.
But it doesn't specify the time. That is in general. Is, for example, when you are asking for, I don't know, for buying something, give me just one. But in this case, I mean that it is not in the context.
Exactly. Very good. And also what Jose Fernando points out here, sarcasm is not an option. It's not measured. Okay, here, yes, even though we are, let's say, also examining the pragmatics of the language, we are not going into those very deep levels of pragmatical competence, like identifying sarcasm or irony in a written text. Very good. Okay, guys. So let me erase the drawings. And let's continue. Now, we're going to take a look now at some read comprehension exercises. First, and this is a tip that I give always, get a general idea of the topic and the structure of the text. Why? Because when you read the whole thing first, you get those two notions. You get what is the text about and the structure of the text. So if you need to go back, you know more or less where to find answers. So after you read the first time, you start answering the question that you can answer after that first read, and then return to the test to find the details you're being asked. Okay, so normally in the reading comprehension section, there are two types of questions. There are general comprehension questions that are about the full text, and there are detailed questions that point out to more specific information. So when we read the full text first, we can start anticipating some answers. Okay, especially in the first type of exercise that we're going to take a look here. Now, you're going to start, as I told you, start with the questions, and then you go back to the text if you need to. Okay, what for? Okay, sorry, and which will be the advantage? That you already know more or less where can you find the answers that you are missing, because you're already familiar with the structure of the text. Okay, now the first exercise that I'm going to show you is an exercise in which we can anticipate most, if not all, of the answers. So let's take a look. Okay, we're going to read the text first, try to anticipate some of the answers. Now, this is what we will call a typical transition exercise from the focus of grammar and vocabulary to the reading comprehension. So we have a full text, but notice that the spaces are for words. In this case, we are like taking elements from both, from the reading comprehension because we have a full text, but also from the grammar and vocabulary section because of the gaps. Okay, so this will normally be the first type of exercise to transition from structure and vocabulary to reading comprehension. Okay, so let's read the text quickly first, and let's try to anticipate all of the answers. Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute to read. All right, guys, ready? Now, who would like to tell me what is the text about, or what is the text trying to do?
Comparing Greek and Roman cultures.
To what? Sorry, Carolina?
Comparing Greek and Roman cultures.
Very good. Okay, so it's comparing these two cultures. Okay, so we have a general idea. So with that in mind, this test is making a comparison. We're going to try to anticipate all of the answers. Now, the Greek culture, together with the Roman culture one, fascinated humans for centuries. Which will be the answer here.
Half, maybe.
All right, very good. Okay, sadly, many people today know the differences between Greeks and Romans.
Don't know.
Okay, don't. Good. All right, some people think Romans are an extension of Greeks. Others assume that the two are similar. In fact, the two are very different one another. Which will be the word there? Okay, Jose Fernando says from. Okay. From one another. Okay. And show opposite life values. Greeks and Romans were great architects. Which do you think will be the word to fill out here?
However, maybe.
However. Okay. However,
Consequently,
Greeks and Romans were great architects. Okay, so, but is it expressing a consequence? And take a look at the rest of that paragraph. Okay, so thank you, Jose. Here, a more suitable word will be both. Both Greeks and Romans were great architects. Greeks used to more about shape than function.
focus or work.
Okay, and thank you, Jose, for that. Okay, because in terms of a structure, we wouldn't put a transition word there because there is no comma. Okay, so used to. Okay, focus more about. Will that be the correct collocation?
No, focus on.
Focus on more about.
No. If it is focus, it would be, the sentence would be focus more on, but in this case, it is not.
Okay, so we have an about there. So we need to think about a collocation. Okay, very good. Thank you. Worry. More about shape than function. They the most important thing was making beautiful buildings. Which verb, and I'm already spoiling which verb should go there. Okay, they thought, okay. Okay, they thought the most important thing was making beautiful buildings. Comma, Romans were perfect engineers. In that case, we do have a comma, so we do need a transition word. Okay, so we can say while, whereas, however. Okay, Romans were perfect engineers. For whom street planning and use had the greatest importance. Okay, so here we have a while. No, yes, Jose, it can be while, sorry, Sarah, while, or whereas, or however.
Really, teacher? Because you know what I'm asking? Because that the sentence looks incomplete. Because when you use while, you compare. While Romans were perfect engineers, Greeks were blah, blah, blah. So I don't know, it looks incomplete to me.
Well, perhaps it needs a little bit more of information, but we have more information prior.
Okay.
Prior to that part.
Thank you.
Okay, and we're still here in question 17. Okay, so for street planning and use had the greatest importance. And in here we have for question 17, no? For instance, okay, or for example. Okay, Greeks admire poets and philosophers, comma. Romans admire their soldiers who were extremely brave and successful, which will be a good connector here. Okay, again, whereas can go here. All right. Okay, guys, so let's, now that we anticipated all of the answers, going to take a look at the questions. Okay, so let's keep one or two questions very much in mind to see if those are the options that we are given in the questions. Okay. While without a comma is not the best idea. I mean, it can go, but it will be stylistically wrong. All right. So now let's take a look at the questions. For example, question 0, that was the first one. Okay, we have, don't, from. Okay, so we have here, both, we answered this one. Worry, we answered this one. In this one, we say thought. Okay, however, the focus here is a little bit more on grammar because it's saying, it's talking which will be the correct verb form that will go here. Okay. In question 16, we had while, okay, and it had question 16 was almost, however, or indeed, again, however, totally replaces while. Okay, so so we will choose this one. Okay, question 17, however, okay, whoops. Okay, question for them. Okay, so it wasn't for instance or for example. Okay, it was for them. Okay, but again, this will be easier, and whereas can be easily replaced with but. Okay, so when you anticipate, notice that we got out of the answers there, we only had 2 that maybe were not the exact same answer that we gave. Okay, so when you anticipate those answers, especially in this type it might give the impression that it's time consuming, but it's actually not. It actually saves you a lot of time because then what you need to contrast is almost automatic. All right. Okay, now let's do one last read comprehension exercise. For this, we will have the full text and then 5 multiple choice questions. Okay, Carolina says, teacher, but I think in this case it's easier to answer with the options. It's a matter of preference, Carol. What I recommend is to anticipate so we can have like a clearer idea of what we can find in the options, okay? Anticipating maybe in the question paper and then contrasting, okay, will give you a clearer idea of what you are looking for, and it will be easier to discard certain options that are not suitable. Sarah.
Teacher, I have a question. In this exam, are there going to be exercises like the one we just did without the options? Because I remember from the OPT, from the OOPT, there's a section like this, and it's the hardest for the students. So no.
No, there won't.
Oh, okay.
There won't. No, all of the options are either, all of the questions are either multiple magic or multiple choice. All right, so let's take a look at this text. All right, guys, are we done? Yeah. All right. Now let's take a look at the questions. Remember, guys, we're going to try to answer the questions that we can with this first read, and then if we need to, we will come back to the text. All right. Okay, so we have 5 questions here. Now, can we answer the first one? Okay, John Humphrey Noyes traveled to New York State. To what? To visit his family, to change his way of life, or to know more about his country?
Sorry, could you go back for a moment?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so again, let's try without going back to the test to answer as many questions as we can. Okay, so Sarah said that first question is B. Do you agree, disagree? Huh? Okay, nowadays, what is Oneida? Is it a hotel? Is it a display? Or is it a school? Notice that they are not going to give you like a literal answer. Okay, so this ring comprehension, this type of exercise will be some of the last exercises. Why? Because it is asking you to make inferences. Okay, so the answer is not going to be literal in the text most of the time, but it's going to give you some descriptions or some information for you to make inferences on this. Okay, so this question, the answer will be yes, it is a hotel. Okay, because the test is telling you that is a place where you can go, rent a room, you can have breakfast and so on. So what does that sound like? Is it a school? No, I don't think so. We know that there are schools that have dorms and everything, but this doesn't seem like a school type. The writer of the article visited the place because he had particular social beliefs, had family who had lived there, or had interest in historical buildings. We're not talking about John Humphrey Noyes. We're talking about the writer of this piece. And this is something that we'll need to understand full text in order to answer this question. Okay, very good, Francisco. The answer in this case will be C, because the author had an interest on historical buildings. Now, if you want to see a building, you need to pay to have a guided visit. You can join a small group of people, or you will have your own guide included. Anyone? Or do you think that we need to go back to the test in order to answer this question? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, so Andrea says maybe A or A. Francisco says A. All right. Nelson also says A, and the answer to this question is C. Why? We'll take a look in a minute. Now, can we answer the last question? All visitors to an EIDA historical site have access to most parts of the house, have to go to the 19th century library, or are not allowed to see certain places. What do you think? Or maybe they need more information? Okay, so Sarah says A, very good. In this case, the answer is A, okay? Now, let's take a look at the debating question, that is question 22. If you want to see a building, okay, you will have your own guide included. Now, let's go back to the text, okay? And the answer, we are going to find it. Oh my God, what am I doing here? We're going to find it in here. Oh my God. Okay, here. The present owner shared the building with guests who stay in large, comfortably furnished bedroom with private baths. There are 8 guest rooms in the hotel area, and each guest pays $100 for a big bedroom, a simple breakfast, and a private tour. Okay, so this is included. Okay, this is included. Okay, this is included in the package when you stay, okay? When you stay in the hotel, okay? So this is part, okay? So this is part that is included in the package of the stay in the hotel. So why is it not, you need to pay to have a guided visit, because you do not only pay for the guided visit, you pay for the room, the breakfast, and the guide. So that is why in this case, it will be something included in the package. All right. Okay, now I'm going to give you a small final challenge. We're going to build one question, okay? It can be, we're going to focus on structure and vocabulary because building a reading comprehension question will take longer, right? It can be either multiple choice or multiple matching. We're going to do this in teams, okay, in a small teams. And I'm going to give you, and we're going to give you 10 minutes to build one question, okay? So if it is multiple matching, well, you will need to like write 2 or 3 statements and some options to answer. Topic is up to you, or a couple of multiple choice questions that can focus on either vocabulary or structure or both. Okay, so we are going to, Lina, could you please help me with this?
Creating the groups or the
Creating
teams. Okay.
the teams.
How many?
So we can have
Groups of how many do you want?
Let's take a look. Maybe 4 groups. I think that we will have
Okay.
like enough
Manualmente
people for 4
crear.
groups.
Ay, no, mentiras, no era así. Sorry. You know, my lack of ability. Añadir, añadir, and añadir. Okay, I did the 4 teams. Now I'm going to.
Okay, guys, so before you go, is the instruction clear?
Create a question.
Yeah, it can be either multiple choice or multiple matching. And it can be focused on a structure, vocabulary, or both. Okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. And remember, 10 minutes. Make the question in a Word file or something that you can share with the rest of us when we come back. All right?
Okay, teacher, thanks.
No problem. All right, so see you in 10 minutes.
So here you are, iniciar. Okay.
And Lina, remember to pause the recording too.
Yes, of course. Stopping so that we don't
Pausing.
waste. Yeah, pause. Done.
All right, guys. Are we done?
Yes, teacher.
Awesome. Okay, so which team would like to start showing us the question that they designed? Okay, Sarah and her team.
Okay, teacher. I worked with Eve's.
Mhm.
I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you the question. All right. Just let me know when you can see my.
All right. Yeah, we can see it already.
I'm sorry, I'm doing something new. I'm splitting. I have 2 screens and I don't know what I'm doing, but okay. You
Don't worry.
All right. Okay, so this is the question. For the following conversation, choose the best response for the second speaker. So we have speaker 1, speaker 2. I love the new J Balvin song. Have you heard it? And then we leave speaker 2 with a blank. So then the student can read the 3 options and then choose the best one.
Okay, so let's the rest of the group. Let's think about this. Is this a multiple matching or a multiple choice question? Anyone? Multiple matching or multiple choice? What do you think this is?
Multiple choice, right?
Very good. This is a multiple choice question. Okay, and which will be the answer? And again, very nice question for this theme because it's not only addressing the structure, but also the pragmatics. Okay, so guys, which will be the answer?
I would say
Yeah.
B.
B. Okay, let me check. I'm not really
B.
Oh, I would say no. No, I don't. Okay, let me check. Yeah.
Okay, could it be A? Could it be A? Take a look at the structure of the question. Have you heard it?
No, it cannot be. It cannot be because of
Mhm.
the structure of the question.
No, I haven't. Will
Uh-huh.
be a possibility,
Ah,
but not this one. Okay, so we are left with the other two. No, I'm not really into reggaeton, or yes, I love J Balvin. Okay, so have you heard of it? Okay. No, have you heard of it? It's if we're talking about a general topic. Okay, have you heard of this topic or this conversation of this discussion? So it's when we say heard of, it's generally a wider concept. Okay, have you heard it? We're referring to the song specifically. Okay, so guys, again, which will be the correct answer? Sarah, is it B?
Yes, teacher, yes, it is.
Okay, so no, I'm not really into reggaeton. Okay, why can it not be C?
Well, if you take a look at C, it will be, it says, yes, I love J Balvin, but I'm not asking about the person in the question. I'm asking about the song. And even though the question, well, the sentence says, I love the new J Balvin song, maybe the other person can say, yes, I love him too. But it's not about him, it's about the song.
It's about the song. Very good. Very, very nice job. Thank you, Sarah, and the rest of your team. Okay, which team would like to go next?
We can do it, but
All right.
not sure like about what we did. I was
don't
with
worry, it's
Andres
fine.
Arredondo and Carlos.
Okay. Okay, so you need to get to a shopping mall. How will you ask for help? Can you tell me where is the shopping mall? Should you tell me where the shopping mall is? Can you tell me where the shopping mall is? All right, so guys, let's first identify, is this multiple matching or multiple choice? Very good, Jose. This is multiple choice. Okay, and which will be the answer? This is focusing mostly on a structure.
C, I would say it's C.
See, Andreas, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, is that B because we're not asking for a suggestion? Okay, so should we discard it? Why is it not A?
Because it's an indirect question.
Exactly. Okay, can you tell me where is the shopping mall? The structure is wrong. Okay, because we're asking a direct question. So can you tell me where the shopping mall is? Very good. Okay, guys. So let's actually thank you very much, Andres and his team. Which team would like to go next?
Let me do it, teacher.
All right, go ahead.
Here it is.
Okay. Oh, nice. You had even enough time to build a reading comprehension question. Wow, fantastic. Okay, guys, which will this type of question be? Is this multiple matching or multiple choice? Anyone? Multiple matching or multiple choice?
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice it is. Very good. Okay, so Albert Einstein was a German-born physicist, although people probably know him as the most intelligent person ever lived. His name has become part of many languages when we want to say someone is a genius, as in the phrase, she is a real Einstein. He must have pretty brainy to discover the theory of relativity and the equation E equals mc2. 1999, Time magazine named Einstein as the person of the century. No one could have this will happen when he was at school. He was extremely interested in science, but he hated the system of learning by heart. He it destroyed learning and creativity. He had already done many experiments, but failed the entrance exams to a technical college. All right, so let's answer. Which will be the answer to the first one? Most, many, or some? Okay, most. Francisco, will that be correct?
Correct. Most.
All right,
Okay.
very good. Why not many?
Because here they are talking about the majority of people.
Very good. So it is a pragmatical
And
issue.
true fact. It's also a true fact that most people in the world have at least heard about this person.
Exactly. Okay, what about question 2? As the most intelligent person ever lived. Him, what, or who?
Are you asking me or the students?
No, the
others.
rest of the group. The rest of the group to answer your questions. Guys. Will this be the most
have the answer.
intelligent person?
They said that who? They said that.
Okay, see. Who? Very good.
That is correct.
Okay. It's not what because we're talking about a person, right? Very good. What about number 3? She's a real Einstein. He must have pretty brainy to discover the theory of relativity. Okay, so this is mainly structure. Okay, so which will be the answer there? B, been, or seen? Anyone? Guys, what about the other students? Is Jose the only one reading the questions and answering them?
I am too, but I don't want
I
to.
And Linnea, that is a very good student, as usual. Okay, you are. Bean, very good. Okay.
Correct.
What about question 4? No one could have guessed, or imagined. Okay, let's ask someone directly.
I think it's B.
Okay, B, guessed. Francisco, is that correct?
Is that correct? Correct.
That is correct. Okay.
Okay.
And finally, it destroyed learning and creativity. Say, told, or said? In question 5.
So it's B again.
B. Is it, Francisco?
No,
It's not.
it's not.
The correct answer there will be what?
C.
C. Very good. Okay, he said, because the rest of the paragraph is in past, so we need to put the verb in past. And why not told? Because we tell someone something. And we say,
Or we tell a
something.
story. Or we tell
Okay,
a story.
or we tell a story, but we don't tell it. Okay, we don't tell something. Okay, we tell a story or we tell someone something. All right, very good. Thank you very much to Francisco and the rest of his team. So now let's take a look at the last team. We're missing one team. Which one is it? Okay, so Jose just put the question here. I want ice cream. I'm on a diet. Okay, so this is a structure / pragmatical competence question. Okay, I want ice cream. I'm on a diet. Okay, so guys, which will be the answer there? What do you think? The question is in the chat for the ones who are wondering why they are not projecting the screen. The question they wrote in the chat.
But I think they're missing a period after ice cream, right?
They're missing, oh yeah, it is missing a period.
No, it's not. No, it's not missing a period. It's left out unintentionally. It's left out intentionally.
Okay. Okay, and it wouldn't be a period. It will be a comma. But it is missing a
It would
comma.
be a. No, it's not.
All right, so guys, which will be the answer? However, because, or even though?
I would say because.
Okay, I want ice cream because I'm on a diet.
I'm on the diet.
I want that diet. I want that diet.
Yeah, me too.
I love it. I love it.
Low on sugar.
Diet with ice cream.
Low on sugar.
Oh my God, that will be a fantastic diet.
But unfortunately, it's not socially accepted to have a kind of diet like
ice
that.
cream on a diet, yeah. Okay, guys, so we are left with two options, however or even though. What do you think? Sandra or Rogers or Paulo, what do you think? Which will be the correct answer there? Okay, Roger says A, however, Jose, is that correct?
Nope.
Why
Because
not?
if the answer were however, it would be I want ice cream, period. However, comma, I'm on a diet. Because remember that however
Okay.
always
It
needs
is,
two punctuation marks to connect the
no,
ideas.
but we do need a comma after ice cream. Okay.
With
It
even
will-
though,
it will
with the
not-
clause, even though, remember, even though as a clause, if we say even though I'm on a diet, comma,
No,
I
no,
want
no.
ice cream.
But we will have a comma before the
No.
even though.
No, with the clause,
Okay.
no. I'm on a diet, I want ice cream, even though I'm on a, you don't need a comma there. I guarantee that. You need a comma with even though, when even though begins the clause. But when the, even though it's like with if. When you use if, you
But
don't need a
these are
comma.
two independent clauses. Okay, but yeah, the correct answer there will be even though. All right, guys, thank you very much. This last activity that we did is the last suggestion I'm going to leave you with for preparation, not only for the Saber-Pro exam, but for any kind of exam. Take a look at the structure, take a look at the type of questions, and start building questions on your own, sharing them with your colleagues, taking a look at why is it this answer and not this one. Okay, so building questions is also a great way to prepare for any standardized test, and in this particular case for Saber-Pro. So thank you very much for a very, very good work today. Okay, so I don't know if you have any additional questions, comments.
Sarah says thank you. Sarah Betancourt says thank you. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Claudia again for her disposition, for her commitment, and also because of preparing this activity for today in such a dynamic way and having people participate, which is very, very important in these kinds of events. I am very happy for the result and what you did, which was very, very well organized. And also, I thank you, my dear students, for being so participative today and being attentive to be part of what is going on. Remember that the exam is, I mean, some people already have that exam in October.
Next
I
week.
don't remember, 9.
I know,
Yeah,
in 2
the
weeks.
ones, yeah, the ones who will take that exam online. But I think something different is when we're talking about people who are going to be there on site. Yeah, the paper-based, the one that means that you have to go to a school or to a given place where the exam is going to be administered. So you have to be attentive to that. There are 2 people raising their hands. They are Sarah and Francisco. Go ahead, Sarah.
Thank you, teacher. As I don't know if you read what I asked you in the chat, but
sorry, no, didn't have
my
time, but let me see.
It's okay. My citación was supposed to come out yesterday, and I checked this morning, and it says ver información or consultar, and there's something that says ha ocurrido un error, por favor comunicarse con el administrador. So I don't know, should I call the line, la línea nacional, or because my exam is 2 weeks.
Yes, try it because, yeah, yours is the one, you are one of those people who are going to take it online. So you better start calling, and if you have any kind of email to contact, use it, something, do whatever you need to do so that you have the evidence that you did respond to that idea of ha ocurrido un error, comuníquese. So please do it quickly. Yeah.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Francisco.
Profesora, buenos días.
Buenos días, Francisco.
Bueno, profesora, no, es que no he recibido ninguna, yo lo debo presentar el 9 y no he recibido ningún correo, nada, pues
¿Por qué sabes que lo debes presentar el 9?
porque me decía en la confirmación, pues que me llega cuando yo hice el pago,
Ajá.
me decía
Que el 9.
que la fecha era para el 9.
O sea que lo mismo que con Sara, porque Sara también lo tiene para el 9 y necesitaba, pues ayer se supone que debía llegar. Lo mismo que va a tener que hacer Sara, vas a tener que hacerlo tú, tratar, esperar si no llegó ya ayer, que era la fecha que tenía que llegar, entonces comunicarte y tener
Bueno.
toda la evidencia de las comunicaciones, preferiblemente tratar de usar las dos formas, correo electrónico y llamada telefónica a una línea nacional.
Bueno, profe, gracias.
Okay. Okay, anyone else to say something else? Okay, so thank you very much for the
Lina,
disposition.
someone is
Yes.
asking again for the attendance link.
Yes, of course. Just a second. Just give me a second. It happens sometimes that the attendance was just before you had been able to join or something. So here we go. Ready, done. Ay, se lo puse a Sara nomás. Sorry. Para todos. Again. Here. Okay. Listo. La puse para todos otra vez. Okay. So that you can complete it and fill it in. Okay. So Claudia, thank you very much. Remember the general for the students. Remember the general, like suggestions, not only in the English test, but in general. Remember to be there on time. Those who have the on-site test, remember to have everything you need: your ID, something to eat. Of course, not like a lot of food, but something small that can help you regain energy when needed. Also remember to bring your pencils and erasers and sharpeners
and a clear bottle of water.
Clear. Exactly, yeah. Everything you require, otherwise it would be like very exhausting. It is already exhausting, so we have to do things to decrease the possibility of getting so tired. So please remember to do that. And be attentive to that. And Claudia,
and to sleep well before the exam any day.
Yeah, to be healthy and prepared physically to take the exam. So it means sleeping well the night before. Okay, next week we will have 2 workshops. They are about competencias ciudadanas. There will be a person invited from Centro Educativo Autónomo. His name is Daniel Vallejo Mazo, and he will be presenting about competencias ciudadanas on Friday and Saturday. I think, I don't really remember, but I think it's at 10 a.m., but let me check, so that I don't tell you things that are not true, okay? Yes.
I thank you all, okay, for, as Lina said, for your participation, for your attendance, and best of tidings to all of you in the Saber-Pro exam. You're very welcome.
No lo encuentro. Ay, ama. Se me perdió. Ya, aquí lo encontré. Y la programación, porque se me había perdido. Listo. Entonces quedó módulo enseñar, módulo evaluar, módulo inglés, competencias ciudadanas, viernes y sábado, viernes 1 y sábado 2 de octubre, de 9 a 11. Esa va a ser de 9 a 11, para que lo tengan presente los poquitos que quedaron ahí mientras yo buscaba. de 9 a 11 de la mañana. Los profes, los que tengan clase, por ejemplo, hasta las 10 con la profe Elizabeth, ella sabe muy bien, entonces ese día la clase solamente hasta cierta hora para que ustedes puedan estar. Para que no se sientan pues como, entonces no, porque no tengo el permiso. Sobre todo los profes de clase de práctica, ellos saben que esto es muy importante, entonces ustedes puedan estar, ¿ok? So thank you very much again.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Ay, Claudia, muchas gracias, mi amor, por todo, por todo, por
Anytime.
todo. Thank you.
You know
very
you can
much.
count on me always.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.